these operator bans. A Maverick going to get banned out. That's going to leave a Thatcher on the board, and then a Capitao getting banned out. What do you think about that Capitao?
I think Capitao is an interesting ban. I wonder, for example, how that's going to change the defensive lineups. Because obviously, I think a lot of the time on Clubhouse nowadays, people are bringing Wamai to get rid of the Capitao bolts, especially on sites where we've got cache and CCTV server. That is a very useful ban, in my opinion, especially if you're bandit tricking.
Yeah, and with the Maverick gone, it makes bandit tricking a little bit more viable. The wall. There's a bit of competition to get that wall open. It won't just happen regardless. Rounding out the defensive bans, we do have that Echo and Mirror, very standard things to see. So the banning out the Maverick, I feel, is going to affect the attacks a lot more than it will the defense. It will give the defenders a lot more breathing room to work with when they're sitting on those sites. How do you feel about that?
See, this is the thing, because I feel personally that with the Maverick ban, it just means that people are going to have to go a little bit old school with this on the attack. Again, like you see, we've got centre half here bringing the Thatcher. And again, you've got, interestingly, actually, Thermite and Habana. I wonder if they're going for assuming there is going to be the basement, which there is right now.
Yeah, I reckon you always want to try and bring as many hard breaches as you have available, especially on Clubhouse, because if they do go downstairs first, there's potentially 3 hatches to open up, and then if you want to get that dirt wall open as well, and church wall, that's 5 total. So you'd have to be perfect with the utility on the side of Budapest 5 if you want to get it all opened. However, I doubt we will see everything getting open. Teams, for some reason, actually have been straying more towards just going for the kitchen push. So just opening up dirt, kitchen, and maybe that bar hatch, and then using that as opposed to going for a more all-around take.
And again, I feel that's like kind of something that I personally don't really like to see teams doing. I don't really like them just sticking to the dirt and kitchen push. I like to see, that wall getting open. And I think maybe, again, because we have seen the Maverick ban, maybe that's why they just want to make it clean and simple and just go with getting hatches open and pushing dirt.
Yeah. Oh, already going to get that blue hatch opened on up, though. Thermite using one of his exothermic charges there. Not being Kai tricked either. Those Kaids are probably going to be saved for the actual Moto hatch. It's a very common position to sit. You can sit on top of the boxes, delay it quite a lot, but with the Thatcher on the board, it makes that tricking a little bit more difficult. So it's quite interesting to see that Enclave are just going for what appears to be a totally anchor setup. Generally, especially with the prevalence and effectiveness of that SSG roam that we've seen quite a lot, you normally see a lot of players roaming up top.
Yeah, and again, I think you were right, actually. They are just going for the straight dirt push. They are quickly now, Habana kind of... Oh, wait, no, she's not. But again, I'm not sure how I like this kind of attacking dynamic. In my opinion, maybe this is actually easier for the defenders because, again, if they are playing a more kind of anchor-based strat for this, it could be a bit more beneficial for them to have only potentially 2 points of attack.
Yeah, those points of attack, though, are working out very well for Budapest 5 at the moment. Access and Manny down to less than 25 points of health, and Thor is gone. This drone right next to Manny's foot is just going to remain hidden for the time being, caught behind that little bit of metal on the floor. Hufkey wanting to get aggressive on this. The pre-fire comes through, takes him down, but is immediately traded. So 4 versus 3. Thor had died to a nade earlier. Quite ironic for the Jaeger to go down in that fashion. But Hufkey's off the board. Hibana charge is not used as far as I can tell. And this is just stacking up to be a blue and dirt take. Might get caught off by Corvin coming in through the backline zone. But it looks like Snubster's moved out of the way for the time being. Rizuko's still got the TCSG, potentially with the ACOG on it. Now it's got the hollow on it. And he's sitting deep inside of Armory. He's not actually playing that sort of main stairs church area to give him those long angles into blue. The rush comes in. Kingslayer's inside the site. A lot of damage done. The Goya with his own TCSG. That's Access. Actually downs Kingslayer as he pushes on in. He's traded out, though. And now it's all left up to Rez, sitting in the back of the site. He's using that TCSG, trying to make something work. The shots onto the Thermite does a little bit of damage. The C4 comes out and lands one, gets the diffuser down, but is immediately traded out. Nico getting the final kill there onto Rizuko. And that was a great little switch around. Sort of the momentum started to feel like it was evening it out into Enclave's favor, but it was a good recovery by Budapest 5 there.
There was definitely a point there where I thought Enclave may have pulled it back, especially when everything started kicking off. But ultimately, I don't know. I think now we can see they're going to CC cash, change site, change everything, change your strats up.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to switch up the site first of all, going up to that CCTV room, cash room, and we're seeing the Bandit and the Kaid be brought. Do you have anything to say about that? It's quite unusual to see both. This is probably the site to bring both if you were going to do it, but even so, it's quite unusual.
Yeah, I reckon, have the Kaid in the garage, have Bandit tricking on the main CCTV wall. That's probably where I think they're gonna go. Looking at them setting this up now, I reckon that is where they're gonna go with it. We're saying that you do see, I think Bandit is in garage, so maybe Bandit's actually, that's interesting actually. Bandit may be getting the garage walls and then having the Kaid on the CCTV.
Oh, that's quite unusual. Normally you would put the Kaid sitting inside of garage. Got the ACOG. If you want to, you can use your electric claws to get those walls from when you're sitting up on the rafters. And also if you want to, you can pick them up and be a bit more diverse with them, using them potentially over by the construction wall, if you notice that the push is coming from there without the Bandit necessarily having to expose themselves quite a lot. We are aware that the players are experiencing a couple of server issues at the moment, so hopefully that won't... I think it's affecting all players equally, so I don't think that's cause for a rehost for the time being, but...
What do you think about that Wamai and the Jaeger? Because, I mean, realistically, if they've banned Capito, I can't really see much reason for having the Wamai and the Jaeger. ADS, it not only gets rid of the grenades and stuff, it completely gets rid of them. Wamai just kind of reorientates it. Which often, especially in those very intense rushed moments, it could end up taking some damage off the defending team.
Yeah. The wall does immediately get opened up though, the Bandit trick not working out. I think the Zofia stuns did a good job of forcing access off there. And is that players inside? Oh no, that's a defender inside the garage. I thought for a second there was someone of Budapest 5 actually in the lower garage area, but no.
Nora Rengoing it.
Yeah. Access gonna get the first kill though, taking down Kingslayer. That's the sledge gone, so that's nades off the board. That Jaeger and Wamai gonna be all the more effective now with only flashbangs that they need to deal with. Zofia's also used up her stuns previously. And that garage wall is actually still electrified. And they've actually managed to work a little bit of a way in. Snubs to get shot by Corvin. Nice little rappel angle onto the player in the garage. There's a lot of real estate available for them, but Thor gets center half, trying to make an entry on in to that lower garage area. Hufkey and Rez trading shots through the wall, but Hufkey lands the shot onto Thor. And Corvin gets another one, taking down Access this time. So we've got Rezuko downstairs, C4 in hand, and Manicrypt sitting on the top of the red stairs, trying to hold these cutoffs. Thermite still on the rappel. They've got a lot of time to work with if you're Budapest 5, and Rezuko's not in a very good position, trapped in that downstairs area. His C4's really the only bit of kit he's got available to him that can really make a difference. The drone gets shot. Manicrypt's given up his location. There's a player in the upper garage. The drone hole going to deal a little bit of damage onto him, but he's able to rotate off safely and is sitting inside of the site. Rez still just wasting time, and they're going for the plant right next to the wall. The swing on through. Rezuka gets the kill onto Corvin. The diffuser's down. 2 versus 2, but man is down. Rezuka gets another one onto Hufkey, and it's all left up to Nico. He needs to try and find a way to make this work. He runs on in, gets the diffuser, and is going to be able to get inside of Cash. Rez has already used up his C4, so he doesn't need to worry about the pressure from below, but brushing up the red stairs, he does a little bit of damage. Nico finally finishes off Manicrypt, and he's going for the plant, this time inside of CCTV. Rez rushing, trying to find a way to make this happen. He comes swinging around the corner, but no, he's not able to get him while he's planting. Now, in a post-plant situation, he's rushing around, trying to find the shots. Does a little bit of damage, but takes a lot in return. It's all up to him to peek, playing behind the bomb. Now, the Zofia finally wins out that fight, landing the shots. And that was a good attempt by Rez, but a great take by Budapest.
That was a really good attempt by Rez. I genuinely thought Enclave may have had that one.
Yeah. I think we are actually going to have a rehost. The players are complaining about the lobby. We did see a little bit of a lag coming through from both players there. So, going to be the members of Enclave to leave, I believe now. Yeah. So we're just going to go and have a quick little break. But those were two very interesting rounds. How do you feel about them?
I feel that it's kind of similar to what I said before, where I do think it will be very close. It's not the kind of, it's not the kind of rounds where one team is just steamrolling the other. There are these very intense moments where I do feel a bit on the edge of my seat because I think, oh my God, they are going to bring it back. And then they don't.
Yeah, definitely the players of Enclave having a good stab at it, trying to make something happen. But we have seen Rizuka get left alone in these 1vx situations both times. And I feel like Snubster, we know how good he can be.
Snubster
And
needs to wake up a little bit, I think.
yeah, Snubster's
Defo.
definitely been the hard carry in these past couple of weeks, and we've not seen much of that from them. But Budapest 5 are the ones winning this game at the moment. What do you have to say about them?
Mm. I mean, yeah, some amazing plays by them again. Just I'm actually quite surprised at how quick, in my opinion, they are getting close to site and just going straight in, getting the job done. And again, like I say, Enclave are bringing stuff to the table where I do feel like, oh my God, they're going to take it back. And then ultimately, Budapest 5 are just outgunning them.
Yeah, Budapest 5 are doing a good job. They're known for being that more aggressive team, try and take a lot of ground very early on. And they've been doing a good job of it so far. I just Enclave are known to adapt quite well, and we do still have Cafe coming up, so whatever happens here, it's still going to be a bit of an uphill battle come that second map. But yeah, we are slowly starting to get the players into the lobby
I'll
now.
wager realistically. I'll wager that give it like maybe another round or two. Snubster wakes up, and I think these are gonna go from. I feel like now they're probably at like 60%, but it's probably gonna get to 100 soon. Um, and again, it's typically with these kind of games you see that the first few rounds the players are still trying to get into the zone, getting their feelers out, seeing what's going on. So again, like I say, if Snubster wakes up, and even if Budapest 5 suddenly turn around and they go from 60 to 100, it would be quite interesting to then see that.
Yeah, definitely. And just thinking about Enclave, they've still got 4 rounds left on their defense. We probably going to see them go back downstairs and back upstairs. What adjustments would you like to see coming from them? Because we know the Budapest 5 attacks work, even though that last round was a little bit touch and go. What adjustments on the defensive side would you like to see come through?
What I think would be quite interesting, because obviously they are, I wouldn't say they're turtling, but it does definitely feel a bit more passive and safe on the defense right now. So I reckon if Enclave adapted to that, and then maybe Budapest became more aware that they maybe were going to get flanked, or there were going to be a bit more rotations on the defender side. How about you?
Yeah, I think that sort of more roaming, more flanking mentality Enclave could bring out would work quite well for them because, as we mentioned, Budapest 5 are a team known for being aggressive, getting in the building, and, trying to eliminate as much of that rotations out of sight as possible. So
I live
if
for that though as well. Like again, like you say, when it comes to Budapest 5, just trying to get straight onto site, it's like I said before, it's not Norengoing it
yeah,
is what I call it, and I live for that kind of attack. Like that is my life energy.
yeah. But
So I
the best way to counter that attack is to uh roam a little bit,
mm,
uh get a little bit of aggression going elsewhere on the map, so they need to burn a lot of time and a bit of utility before they can actually get there. So maybe going for something not quite as extended as an SSG room,
yeah, and
sitting all the way on the top floor, but something
mm,
a little bit of aggression elsewhere.
I think again, like I say, maybe if Snubster does need time to wake up, just kind of throw him out, make him go for a walk around the map a bit, gets the cockles going, as we say.
Maybe, maybe, but yeah, Snubster has been dying not necessarily early on, but without any impact on the round
Mm.
beyond just the utility that they've put down. So that's a key thing that I want to see adjusted, as well as a little bit more effectiveness at denying that utility from Budapest 5 in the very first round. The first kill was from a frag grenade. when there were Jaeger onto a Jaeger when there were Jaegers on the board. So the
And
utility
again,
is either being burnt very well or it's just not in a good place.
for sure. And again, I think maybe instead of focusing on, getting rid of the grenades, like I say, instead of having the Wamai and the Jaeger, maybe change that up a little bit.
Mm.
Um, I think again, like bringing the Kaid and the Bandit. Realistically, I'm surprised that that wall got open so quickly on cache and CCTV.
Yeah.
And I would maybe if they went there again, I'd like to see how they change that.
Yeah, the bringing the Bandit and the Kaid, I feel like it's something that works normally, but for whatever reason, Access was unable to bandit trick effectively, and the wall got opened up very, very easily. So, but we are going to get back into the game now. We've been able to do a rehost. We're going to see if the server's better. This one is on Ubisoft, we believe, for the time being. So, if the servers don't improve, we might have to do an admin ruling, maybe postpone the game to a later point. But for now, we are going to give Church and Arsenal another try, or at least if you're Enclave for the time being.
Yeah, and again, we see the Goyo shield again. This is something that I've actually found quite nice lately. In a lot of compet games, is people bringing Goyo to the table. How do you feel about Goyo as an operator at the moment?
I love him. He's so good. He's amazing. He's got either TCSG or the Vector, two of the best guns in my mind. TCSG, before it was nerfed, was most definitely the best gun in the game, at least on the defending side of things. And, he's only got 2 shields now, so he's not quite as effective and oppressive as he was before. It's only 20 seconds of denial as opposed to 30, but it's still a lot that you can get done with it.
Yeah, again, I feel when they took that extra shield, I still felt, I don't know if I'm still happy about this. I think again, when you do have a team that is the kind of team that will get onto site quite quickly or will go for the rush, Goyo is a wonderful operator to have on defense, and maybe that's why he is being bought so much at the moment.
Yeah, and I think potentially removing the TCSG from Goyo would make him more balanced, just because if he's got 2 great guns and a great gadget and a C4, I'm not saying he's overpowered, but definitely in the current meta where it's a lot of utility being burnt to, burn 2 Goyo shields after dealing with 3 ADSs, God knows how many Wamai discs you've got left up at that point, to then have to go up against a gun as good as the TCSG, a little adjustment may potentially need to be made at some point down the line, but I am not a developer, I'm just a caster, and I will cast the remainder of this round. Budapest 5 going to go for much of the same entry as we saw before, going to get that blue control early on.
This sneaky little Thatcher going on here.
Ooh.
He's expecting the roam.
Yeah,
this is normally... what I said, maybe Budapest 5 are thinking the same as me. Maybe they're thinking that Enclave will go for more of a roam game now. But a very large one if he's claymoring up there.
Yeah. It shows that they're aware that they're not going to apply much, if any, pressure over towards that main stairs kind of area. So if someone were to roam, they could just go up the main stairs, rotate all the way to the top floor, jump over that garage window, with the claymore there. It's a good amount of pressure to apply, and it's difficult to know that if you're Enclave, but once you do, you kind of just understand how much you can get away with. Husky going to have one set of his... Actually, is that all of his Habanas gone? Impacted out? Jeez. And Thor's been downed. And made it out again. The Jaeger, the opening kill, taken out by Fragnades.
I feel perhaps maybe when they, if they want to do the Jaeger Wamai combo, maybe this site would be a good idea for them. Seeing as that's the second time frags have kind of done them over a little bit.
Yeah, Access has also been downed, but Rez hitting a beautiful shot onto Nico. So that's going to be a Zofia gone, a really good fragger. The best entry that they've got. Yes, Hufky's used all of his utility, so he does just have a great gun and the ability to be aggressive, but with the Zofia gone, that stuns, impacts off the board, as well as that very nice to use assault rifle. With about 45 seconds to go, we do have a Thatcher deep inside of blue. They are aware of his presence, at least Snubster on the Legion is, at least. Guman's going out, and Rez, who's sitting deep inside of that moto area, going to be able to land some shots. Hufkey with the bearing 9 takes down Mana Crypt, and this pressure, once again, coming from that blue and dirt tunnel, is going to start to suffocate the defenders inside of the site. The cross comes through, it's going to be called out. The sledge takes a little bit of damage as he pushes on in, but he is going to be in deep inside of the boxes. Hufkey finally finished off by Snubster. And Snubster deals and actually downs the sledge as well. He swings on through with the pistol, lands the headshot onto center half, finishes off his kill onto the sledge, and now it's all left up to Corvin coming in through the dirt tunnel. But with only 5 seconds to go, he actually hits the shot onto Snubster, and he's aware through the what? Takes down Razuko. Oh my god! What a clutch! What a fight!
You love to see it. I genuinely thought, again, like that round went way slower than, you know, the previous one on this side. And again, I was a bit concerned for Budapest 5 then, but that was a hell of a clutch.
Yeah, Snubster woke up in that round, getting 3 kills, but when Corvin's gonna hit shots like that, oh my
Teach
days.
me.
Yeah, maybe Snubster was feeling himself a little bit too much. There was no reason to be that aggressive onto the dirt tunnel, leaving Razuko then trapped inside of the hallway, wants to try and deny the plant, but obviously doesn't want to expose himself, and just great spam through the walls as Razuko tries to move away from that position.
Ironically, for a team that's been playing pretty defensive and passive, their lack of defense and passivity, is that a word? Passiveness, kind of what they lost in that round.
It did win them it though. For a large part of that round, that extra aggression was paying off for them. But then right at the end, it just got a little out of hand, and it gave Corvin the opportunity, and that's going to be a huge momentum shifter, especially for the side. Well, for the side of Budapest 5, they're going to be absolutely feeling themselves this round.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think, as I said, Snubster just needed to warm his cockles. I think the cockles are warmed, but maybe the cockles were warmed a bit too much.
For all those at home, do you want to clarify what precisely a cockle is, just so it's not Twitch TOS?
For Twitch TOS, cockles are your extremities.
So your hands,
so your
and
fingers, your hands, your feet.
Yeah. So
the limbs moving.
Please,
yeah.
Twitch.
Nothing lewd,
we
Twitch.
Just got partnered. But, okay, so
please excuse us. We're weird and British.
I'm gonna have to leave that just onto you, the weird and British. Well, the weird part. I am British. But we are going to see precisely the same take coming through once again by Budapest 5. It's worked out for them twice, so why shouldn't they go for it a third time? Razuko, though, not going to win that little pixel angle onto Nico. Zofia besting him out in this duel. I do believe we saw a roamer from Enclave, potentially on the top floor at one point, trying to get a little bit of damage done inside of the construction side during the prep phase, but they're going to be very isolated from the site, as already Nico working his way down the blue hallway, getting rid of the barbed wire, and is going to start having these peeks on into the site.
That was interesting.
You see bullet holes, you just shoot.
Yeah, I love an aggressive Zofia. I love it. I love to see it. But again, we are now 4v4, so again, a slow start to this round. So I do think that they are kind of dialing back some of the aggressiveness, and I don't know how that's gonna be an effective strat for them, really, especially considering how passive Enclave have been.
Yeah. What I want to see is more aggressiveness coming out from Thor, though, as his roaming means that Corvin has been able to get down that main stairs and actually kill ACS. That's going to be the my gone, so no more discs going to be available throughout the rest of this round, other than ones he's already put out. Mana Crypt does, able to trade one back, and Thor gets one into Hufkey on his drones. The man count in favor of Enclave, and Corvin's on the hunt, but Thor is already well out of there. Not even going to sit around and wait for a little hello shot from the Thermite. This roam is actually working out quite well. I said I wanted them to be a bit more aggressive over towards this side of the map, and not placing a claymore there center half at this time going to get you caught out. But Corvin somehow is inside of the site. He's going to go for a plant. He's actually getting it down. 1 second left on it, and yeah, it's been successfully put down. And now with center half sitting inside of blue, he's going to be able to cut off these rotations as the 3 players from Enclave try and make this work. Mana Crypt does take down Corvin though, so it's all up to center half to try and stop the players pushing on in. They might know where he is. They're being a little passive on crossing this, but no, Snubster just runs through and doesn't take any damage. He's actually going to be going for the plant. Mana Crypt lands the shot onto him, but it's planted safe behind the black box, and Thor is there to cover the cross. Snubster going to be able to get that disable, and the Enclave able to win the round.
Realistically, I don't think that plant should have gone down.
Yeah, I have no idea how Corvin got in there.
And I feel also, again, like you say, with having the Jaeger roaming at the moment and them just not being aware of how much things are being pushed on site, is just a little bit... I don't know if that's like a communication issue or what's going on there, really.
Yeah, well... The aggression for, the last 2 attacks by Budapest 5 were onto that blue and dirt location, so to have both of the players sitting inside of Armory covering each other's back so they don't get attacked from those angles is... Well, it's a nice adjustment that we see coming from them, and I feel like Budapest 5 might have sort of played themselves a little bit there by trying to mix it up, when really it had worked so well both times that they didn't really need to. They probably could have kept doing exactly the same strategy and been as effective.
And again, now we see Cash and CCTV with the Wamai and with the Jaeger again, and I'm again asking, is this necessary? Again, last time, I'm not sure if the Wamai and Jaeger did anything really in terms of getting rid of the grenades, and I'm not sure if that's the right play. Maybe someone, again, to roam or just get a bit more intel. I think maybe definitely more intel is needed for Enclave at the moment.
The presence of the Thatcher does sort of diminish the effectiveness of that with my Jaeger, because all the places where you want to stack them up are going to be close to those windows and walls, which are really easy to be taken out by an EMP.
Safely taken out as well, because you don't really have to get stuck in to do that.
As opposed to when you ban out the Thatcher and then it's just the Maverick. Oh, Thor getting Hufkey. That's going to be the Hibana gone already, and I think that was from a run out from Strip. Does take a little damage in response, but that's going to be a Hibana gone very early on. That's a huge kill to get.
Yeah, definitely. And now obviously you see the Kaid reacting to that, so instead of bandit tricking now, they are just going to try and bait out the Thatcher using a mix of bandit charges and Kaid claws.
Yeah, and it's doing a good job, especially with Razuka on these red stairs, and Cam's in positions to help him out.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, they're able to get the wall open now, and Razuka was in a good position to stop it if anyone pushed him from below, but once again, ACS just gets caught out on the bandit trick, and a little bit of damage dealt onto him as well through the wall, the upside down repel by the thermite. You know how effective he was from this position on the last time they attacked this. And now Budapest have got this wall open, they still need to try and make this execute happen with a man down.
Yeah, and again, they have to be really aware of those roamers that Enclave are now finally bringing to the table, because it's all very well if you can get into a site and plant, but you will have people below denying that plant. And there doesn't really seem to be any way to counter the roamers underneath. Oh wait, no, now we see... I can't quite see who it is, actually. Mizuko is aware that someone's coming to clean him out, though.
Well, the main door does get opened up and the drone goes on through. Rez gets the drone and repositions himself, but he's stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Thor gets caught, and that's a diffuser down, and Kingslayer's nade not only gets caught, but so does his life. So now 2 versus 5, Enclave making some great readjustments since the rehost. Nico just rushes on in, tries to get the kill onto Snubster, but no, he's ready and waiting, takes him down with that TCSG, and it's all left up to center half. 1 versus 5, 30 seconds to go, and he still needs to recover the diffuser. Razuko covering his cross, well aware that he's inside of secret. That information is going to be relayed to his team. There's going to be pressure from the red stairs as well, meaning that he definitely can't get out of this room safely unless he decides to completely change up his angle. No, he somehow manages to run across, takes a little bit of damage in response. Razuko just trying to waste as much time as possible. Still needs to find a way to get the diffuser, but this round is over. Enclave, some great adjustments coming on through. Center half just trying to save his life at this point. ACS not really caring about his. KD, not an issue for the Bandit, but a great recovery by Enclave.
Amazing recovery. And again, I think personally, Nico rushing then I think may have cost them the round slightly a bit more. I think if you know you're in that kind of situation where the entire team is still alive and it's just you and one other guy, I don't know if running in, but what do you think about that?
I think that the most impactful kill of that round was actually the very first. We always talk of how important opening kills are, but to get an opening kill onto a Hibana, that was just absolutely huge. I don't think the Thermite was actually able to open up the garage wall either after the Hibana had been killed. So, you know, you've only created this one angle into the site through the main breach. It gives you it doesn't give you much space to work with. You push on in, you're going to be pushed from, or attacked from the garage and the site because you've not been able to secure that garage control properly. So Thor, with his run out from strip, really gave Enclave that round.
Yeah, definitely. And again, Nico dying from garage. Ideally, if they had the Hibana and they got garage open, that probably wouldn't have even happened. So even if it did become, you know, maybe like 3v5 towards the end, they would have had a bit more control on the basis that they would have had, like you say, the more 2 points of attack as opposed to the 1 onto the site.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, indeed. Looking at this setup though, Access is roaming downstairs for the time being. I don't think that'll last too long. Maybe he's just on a bit of a drone hunt. Still has 2 bandit wires in his possession, so hopefully we'll see a little bit of a use coming out of them. And this gym bedroom hold is looking rather standard. A lot of lateral extension over towards the CCTV cache area. Not actually extension into CCTV from the looks of it. Looks like they're just going to sit inside of cache, try and play these long angles through the construction wall. Very typical and a very safe way to play.
See, I'm unsure because if they haven't extended into CCTV when they know that this is typically a team that will very aggressively push directly onto site, I think delaying, at least on the one side, that push onto site could be good, but do you see Thermite? Oh, but is that both Thermite charges gone?
Potentially. Corbin may have another one in his pocket. They're trying to use up some of that utility, and this is some poor drone work by Budapest. They haven't cleared, well, they haven't droned to check to see if CCTV is clear. If they did, they would, you know, recognize that and then be able to go onto the window and use up their Zofia charges on opening up the wall and forcing Access out of his position. But now, just seeing EMPs get wasted. Zofia's finally there. Thor's ready and waiting to hold the angle. Doesn't land any shots. Mana Grip elsewhere has lost about 50 points of health. Finally, Zofia's burning her utility, but the Wamais and the Jaegers are going to be there to burn up as much of it as possible.
And again, interestingly here we have Hibana pushing not really a lot of defense on CCTV cache. This is kind of what I was talking about, where I do feel like teams need to be a little bit more carefully on cache, especially because it does delay the eventual progression onto site.
Yeah, it's all left up to the Jaeger. Oh no, the castle actually sitting behind those green boxes, and the C4 from below gets 2! Snubster, great rotation. The Valkyrie gets 2 kills. Nico finally finishes off Thor, but Axis gets Kingslayer, and now it's a 2 versus 4. What a just an immediate turnaround. Enclave looking like they're on the wrong end of that round, but the switch up from the C4 really just so impactful there.
Yeah, that was a nice kill, to be fair. I see Nico here being probably one of the most aggressive players of Budapest 5. He is trying to hunt down. Can't quite get him.
The castle's still sitting inside of cache. They're playing around the box. Razuko finally taking him down with the Super Shorty, the new addition to Castle's kit. And with 15 seconds to go, the jump out through the window, I think? Oh no, Razuko just landing a nice angle onto center half, and that's going to be... I thought he jumped out the window for a second there, but no, just through these open holes. That's going to be 2 in a row now, or 3 in a row? 3 in a row for Enclave.
Yeah, like I said, I think now finally everyone's starting to wake up, and we are going to see this really close game. Interesting. I don't know. I'm slightly surprised how that round went. I really didn't think Enclave were going to win that, but they did. So hats off to them, really. I take my words back.
Yeah, Enclave didn't look set up necessarily in the best of ways, but I feel that round more came down to Budapest 5 not or trying to do things without necessarily understanding the space that they had available. They were trying to open up the jacuzzi wall without knowing that CCTV is all clear. We can just have
Defenders,
someone
protect your
sit
bombs
in
from
there,
being
then you
reviewed
can
by
sit on the
attackers.
window as a Zofia, maybe get some flashbangs from the Thermite or the Hibana to help you out, and burn through all the utility, force access off of his position, get that jacuzzi wall opened, and then, put more pressure coming in through the other side of the map as well. But that coordination wasn't there. Enclave very happily going to take that round, and now Budapest 5 are going to be defending downstairs.
I feel that on this site right now, I can see obviously Nico's going Maestro, and I've said that I feel he's been quite aggressive during this game, so I don't know whether we're about to see an aggressive Maestro.
5 seconds.
That'll
to
be
go.
quite interesting.
I do love a good aggressive Maestro. Understanding that you've got 81 bullets and, just swing on everything.
I like to live dangerously.
If you've got 81 bullets, you can pre-fire 2 seconds before you actually peak the angle. So, just hold mouse 1, swing around, and land those headshots. But something tells me Nico will be being a bit more reserved now. And Enclave very reserved with their push, gonna make sure that they're clearing down all the way from the top, and investing a lot more utility and time into it than what we saw from Budapest.
Again, it's this same kind of strat where you are just going dirt, you are just trying to get probably the kitchen hatch open. We see the Thermite rotating now to kitchen. Although again, Budapest 5, same kind of similar strat is that they have this roaming Jaeger on the very, very top floor. Hopefully he can kind of be a bit speedier, I think, than how Enclave brought Jaeger to the table, but ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah. What I'd quite like to see, if you are going to invest some utility in just having this roaming Jaeger by themselves, is potentially some shotgun holes, single shotgun holes in creative places to provide them angles down. So they need to be a bit more flexible with it. Nico actually going to stop the first set of Hibana charges, second set going off. They've got so many impacts to be able to deal with it. And finally using up 2 there from Kingslayer, they get it open, and the push from Dirt. Well, Thor able to get the kill onto Kingslayer, the Goyo gone. Maestro now feeling a little uncomfortable in this position. That's the other set of impacts already off the board. Thor with a great double kill, only losing about 25 points of health for its center half. Does get the Hibana using, I think it was just coming down the main stairs and checked onto the kitchen area, and is now successfully back
Bomb
onto the
located
site.
by attackers.
3 versus 4 with a minute to go. Oh no.
Will be quite interesting, especially this late in the round, if they are just getting kitchen open. I'm not sure how much. I don't know. I feel when players are this skilled, they probably don't feel as scared pushing that kitchen hatch, but I still feel it's risky.
Access did push on it in and get 1 kill though, so it's all left up to Hufkey, as he's now forced to rotate deep inside of blue. His position has been known. Thor finally taken down. Some great spray coming through from Hufkey. The smoke canister, the final one, going to try and deny the plant, but no mana crypt too deep on into it. Not even damaged by it. Access and Hufkey, SMG11s a pair, going to trade headshots. And Enclave 4 rounds in a row now.
This could be the comeback.
The comeback before they were ever really down.
The comeback before they were ever down.
Yeah,
We love to see
Enclave's
it.
so good, they come back from scrims.
Before it's even existed. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Enclave before this played a warm-up scrim. They, I know they like doing the 6-6, so you will play 6 rounds of defense and 6 rounds of attack. They lost that 11-1. They came and fired up on the comeback, and they're gonna win this. That's it. This is the comeback from the scrim.
You love to see it.
You really do. And
I think similar kind of attacking style as well, though, to how Budapest 5. I don't know if that's something that they just planned, or they were just like, realistically, if they've planned that kind of
Attackers need to locate and defuse
attack,
as many bombs as they
maybe
can.
they'll defend based around that attack, if that makes sense.
yeah, they might change up how they hold the site to be able to anticipate what Enclave brought, but I feel they had a good idea of what Enclave were going to bring out anyway and still got caught off by it. They had 2 players in positions to be able to throw impacts to deny the kitchen hatch pressure. And it was just so easily countered by a Zofia crouch walking through dirt, not getting caught by any goo mines or anything, and then getting 2 kills in quick succession.
5 seconds to
I
go.
feel I would like to see a church wall push at least once during this map.
Defuse a bomb.
I don't know if Enclave would change for that. What do you think?
The church wall push has definitely fallen out of favor for the time being. I like this adjustment though. By trying to throw a Kaid claw here, they're just immediately going to take it away. It would have delayed a bit of time as the Thatcher isn't actually there, but they still use up an EMP. Corvin's still going to be there. Thermite charge detonates just before it pops, so I was cutting it very fine. I didn't want to commit one way or the other to that. But again, the Kaid has already given up all of this ground and might be working against them. We do have the smoke of Hufkey actually electing to play in this position now though. Ooh.
I really want to see 4 get aggressive down there.
Yeah, but Corvin getting aggressive with a C4. Doing good job as that Kaid already. Taking down Razuka, that's the sledge gone. That's a lot of that soft breach that's being brought by Enclave to try and apply additional vertical pressure from the kitchen. Eliminated in the first minute. Oh! Thor, what kind of a shot was that? Hufkey, the smoke gone off the board. 30 seconds of denial. Eliminated from this round. And these bullet holes inside of blue going to be probably their best line of defense against the push from Thor in dirt.
We
Enclave's-
do have access there droning out towards church wall, so maybe they will rotate down main stairs at some point. Unless they're just checking it for flank.
Yeah. Drone. Oh, well spotted by Thor, being able to knife it out, so that won't give any indication. And centre half still going to be that main line of defense against dirt, just staring through these bullet holes. Thor's being very careful and methodical with his droning. Again, it gets caught out. The Hibana charges get eliminated, but Snubster does get the kill onto Corvin. So Kaid gone. Maybe they'll be able to open up this church hatch. Snubster still does have 1 set of Hibana charges to go, and he's sitting on 8 kills. What a huge turnaround from those initial 3 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they have, or maybe have, church open slightly. But
Pressure coming in from blue. It's not entirely sure where the player is. Centre half finally able to take down Axis. A little bit of a messy fight. Thor gets downed as well. Finally, centre half finished off, but the dirt pressure is going to be gone, and they're going to know that, especially seeing as Nico's finished off the kill. Snubster has managed to find his way into Moto, and it's all left up to the player behind Black Box, spotted out by Snubster. He goes to the pre-fire, isn't able to land the shots. Snubster doesn't have the diffuser in hand. That's going to be Mana Crypt going for the plant inside of Armory behind the boxes. He's going to be able to get it down before Kingslayer is going to be able to find out where it is and put an end to it. And now Snubster holding the angle from inside of Moto, lands the headshot onto Kingslayer, trying to rotate around, and Enclave is definitely on the tear.
yeah, definitely. And again, I love the way that the round ended then with the nice little Goyo blow up in the background, very dramatically.
Well, the Goyo was the final kill, so...
I think that maybe it's a slight metaphor for how Enclave are suddenly bringing the fire.
Alright. Oh, okay. I just want to talk about how Thor and Snubster have got 8 and 9 kills respectively. Snubster, as we were mentioning through those initial 3 rounds, which Budapest 5 were able to win, didn't really get much of anything going his way, and you know that rehost might have given him the break that he needed to start getting some momentum.
For sure. I did feel like 4 was going to get quite aggressive on tunnel, which he did in the end. So that was quite interesting to see.
We are now seeing Budapest 5 finally switch it up, not electing to go back down to that church arsenal for a 3rd time. And they're going to defend CCTV with the Jaeger and the Olmai, but this time they're only bringing, as opposed to Enclave, they're only bringing the Bandit and not the Kaid as well.
Indeed, another operator you often see on this kind of site is a mute as well. So I am very surprised that they have opted to only have one of the kind of hard breach denial. Maybe they are
5 seconds
planning
left.
something very interesting for the site.
Yeah. For the time
they-
being, they're all sitting close on it.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Jaeger roaming in basement.
Wow. So, Center Half's been playing well, but I wouldn't want to peg all your roaming hopes on this site on a Jaeger. Usually you'd see someone with a C4 paired up with them.
Sure, and I think that's the garage wall already open again. Without that hard breach denial, they are going to get those lines of sight onto garage. Would be interesting to see Enclave clear garage quite quickly.
Hmm.
Do you have Corvin downed already?
Yeah, Corvin getting down at Mana Crypt, holding the angle through the drone hole. This bandit trick going to be tested now. Mana Crypt wanting to get it open, but they are going to drone it out and check that it's there. Husky already putting down his bandit wires. They might actually get caught out, but no, the Thatcher's not ready with it for the time being. They're going to use the Zofia stuns potentially to try and see if they can make this happen. And it's a very sort of oddly paced attack coming through from Enclave. The stuns are going to force Husky off from holding that, and somehow he's going to be able to escape to hide deeper within the site instead of roaming all the way off. Corbin was picked up as well earlier.
Very surprised he managed to escape from that, because obviously the door to red had been barricaded, but glad he did, because we'll still get a lovely 5v5.
The door to red had been 2 hits, so he could have probably just punched it once and found his way through. And he's actually able to escape the shots through the wall by Razuka, not landing any damage either. So Bandit is going to be alive and well deep inside of the site. Goyo's going to sit on that shield and see what he can get done.
Quite interesting. Oh, I think they're very aware that someone is below in that blue.
Yeah,
They are going to try and clear him out so they can then start pushing from garage.
Yeah, the drone spots out the Jaeger, but he's going to be aware that he was spotted out, so he's just watching those stairs, trying to see if anyone's going to cut him off. The Wamai, who has been sitting in garage, has had a long time to build up a lot of those discs, but still takes 50 damage from the nade from ACS. Thor going to finish off Kingslayer. That's the Wamai gone, so with the Jaeger running away downstairs, that is going to give them control of garage. It's going to make this attack looking quite promising now. Still potentially need to deal with Hufkey downstairs. I'm unsure if he has a C4 to hand or not, but if they don't get rid of him, that could make it really difficult, especially with the Jaeger down to assist. They're going to use the thermite charge to open up this additional wall into garage to make running in a little bit easier. The smoke nades also already being used by Corvin. He's running on in. The floor beneath him has been opened up. A Mana Crypt going to try and go for the plant. The C4 from Hufkey comes through, and all these kills for Budapest 5, making this look so ridiculous for Enclave. They had so much control. They had everything open that they could ever possibly want, but they left it so late and didn't deal with the player downstairs.
Yeah, I think that Jaeger downstairs definitely threw them off. You saw Axis very, very late in the round, kind of still checking to see if he was down there when he had already rotated off. Realistically, perhaps they should have just risked it and run up those stairs along the garage and had more of an aggressive push from that wall, not just the thermite.
Yeah, potentially, but with the hole in the floor already opened up, the bandit sitting downstairs with a C4, there wasn't really too much Enclave could do. They created all of these openings, but didn't really extend out and gain some of that initial control over by the top of Secret, over into Lounge, even just having someone in garage shoot open a large hole in the wall. If Sophia still had an impact left, if Sophia was still alive at that point, you know, impact that main wall onto Lounge. You can't go for that C4 trick.
For sure, and realistically, really, again, I think the play would have been for the Sledge to maybe rotate up those garage stairs, because if someone was going to come up from basement, they can't shoot you back while they're on the ladder. And then you do, again, you have full control to shoot garage door, or if you are going for the plant, you can just kind of attempt to spray that wall at least to try and counter some of the plant denial from the C4 below.
Interesting that we're seeing Budapest 5 go over to the CCTV cache area as opposed to trying to attempt that downstairs hold once again. Hopefully that was just a spectator bug. Hopefully Access still has his drone to hand and it's not actually sitting underneath the map. Castle Barricade's going to be made short work of by Rizuko using that wizard staff, so popularly called, on the sledge. The construction one already been opened up. Not going to go for the bedroom one for the time being though, to try and make it a little bit easier to aggress onto the jacuzzi wall. It looks like they're just... It's a very similar hole from Budapest as to what we saw from Enclave. And Enclave are being much slower about it.
Yeah, definitely. Although you do find that Budapest are being slightly more defensive within cache than I feel Enclave were being.
What intrigues me is that Budapest, this is the way that they are holding the site, so surely they would have known, you know, how to counter it a bit better than from what we saw from them. And we didn't see that. Hopefully we'll see Enclave be able to show us how you are supposed to attack this site, generally seen as a tertiary site and not the best site for gonna catch out that mute jammer, and is actually gonna lose one of his electric claws. And both of his electric claws are gone. The Hibana charge is going to start opening up the wall. It's going to get really difficult for Nico to be able to hold inside of here now. There's all the pressure coming in from around, but Center Half is going to get the kill onto Rizuko. The sledge and the nades are gone. And Center Half going to run all the way into the basement and get away safely.
Getting chased slowly by this 4 would be quite interesting to see a little showdown happen in the basement.
Yeah, but Center Half already well out of there. Being speedy with the rotations, back onto site very quickly, and Nico going to get the kill onto Axis now. 5 versus 3, and they still don't have control of this area. Nico as well getting the kill onto Snubster, only losing about 15 points of health. Corvin with the SMG-11 takes down Mana Crypt, and just the swing on through by Nico drops Thor, and that's a flawless round for Budapest.
I've just realized that I guess the way that they kind of cautiously attacked well, Budapest 5 when they were on attack for that side, I think that kind of explains, maybe in my opinion, a bit more of their caution approaching cache than I was expecting when I saw Enclave's actual defenses for it. Because again, like late game, you saw Budapest 5's Sophia kind of rotating towards the cache when there was minimal people perhaps even on site, which kind of does explain Budapest 5's very, very, very strong defensive holes on that room itself.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So we're going to see Budapest 5's basement hold again.
Yeah, Budapest 5, as you say, going back down to the basement. I was saying something about the previous round, but I put myself on mute. So we did see Enclave going for exactly the same attack that we saw Budapest try to go for, aside from the fact they didn't put any of that pressure over towards the jacuzzi area early on, and they still struggled with it heavily. Normally, when you come up with a strat, you are then very aware of, you know, how it's being dealt with another way, or how other teams play against it, so you then know what to do when it's being shown to you. But both of these teams using very similar strats on that CCTV gym bedroom area, but unable to counter the other.
Yeah, the heavy focus on cache, I think, is saying. I wouldn't say it makes me laugh a lot about that site, but it's definitely something that I like to see teams deal with. Especially because, again, like little things like just droning and using that drone utility can easily tell you, oh, this is a real big weak point for them right now.
Again, the Kaid was playing aggressively, but safely runs away. Thor, again, getting aggressive on this area inside of the dirt tunnel, wants to see if he can make something happen. He's been a bit of a standout, especially for Enclave trying to attack this site. He's been able to get a lot of work done from that dirt tunnel.
And again, perhaps because you do have 4 being so aggressive, it would maybe be good if they did do a bit more of an aggressive and fast push.
Center half roaming, able to take down both the Thatcher and the Hibana. That's Access and Snubster gone. And, oh yeah, Vector, it's good, but it's not good at that long of a range. Mana Crypt with the ACOG. Gonna take down the roaming Goyo, so it's still going to be very difficult, though, for Enclave to make this round work with the Hibana gone so early on. I do believe that Budapest 5 still has impacts up, so opening up that kitchen hatch is going to be almost impossible with only an exothermic charge.
I feel sometimes as well, like Hibana, obviously that they've kind of been put in a position where they've been forced to maybe pick her over, say, a Sledge and Maverick combo.
Potentially. Maverick is very strong on this map, but I don't feel like going for a Maverick trick on the kitchen hatch would be the best idea. But great shot from Hufkey puts us into a 4 versus 2. Mana Crypt trying to creep down the tunnel. He sees the head, finally lines up the shot, takes down the smoke, but with 35 seconds to go, Goomine's still being thrown out by Nico. Razuko gonna take down center half. This is looking more and more likely as all these kills keep on coming through. Nico is inside the site. Mana Crypt has a diffuser. Actually, Nico's playing in the hallway. He could get caught off when he tries to go for this rotation round. Corvin still has a C4 in pocket, but only 6 shots left in that TCSG. Mana Crypt takes down Nico, and Enclave are making something of this round. With the kitchen hatch open, Mana Crypt can go for the plant. It's going to be so difficult for Corvin to be able to push it in, but with his backside exposed, Mana Crypt gets taken down by a single shot. Corvin just runs away. Razuka can't get there in time. And what absolute daylight robbery by Budapest 5.
That is unfortunate.
Not aware of all the rotations that opened up in that wall. Corvin able to sneak on in, and that is what, as you said, unfortunate.
Yeah, I really feel bad for that, but again, it's just timing, and I think that again, maybe there was a bit of delay towards the end. I'm not sure why, but I think there could have been a slight bit more aggression there.
Potentially, but you want to try and play in the safest position possible. The kitchen in that environment is just incredibly safe if you're Razuko. You can drop down later. Mana Crypt knows that he's going to get the plant down and probably die quite quickly afterwards, but that is just so unfortunate, and that actually puts Budapest 5 on match point. Now, there are no overtime, so if Enclave wins this, it's going to be a draw, whereas if Budapest wins this, they're going to take the full 3 points from this map, and Enclave are going to need to, actually do a real comeback when we get onto Cafe.
Yeah, and I hope after the last time, once they've seen that they're on this site, I hope again when it comes to taking the garage, they will be a bit more proactive on maybe, being a bit more aggressive and less passive when it comes to holding potential roamers that may be downstairs or, I'm hoping. They do, interestingly, they have changed that Sledge onto a Monty.
Yeah, Access is actually a pretty good Monty player. Rez, who had been playing the Sledge, has switched onto the Thatcher to give Access, who had previously been playing the Thatcher, the ability to play that Monty. So that's just heavily indicative of a garage push, and with no Legion on the side of Budapest 5, it kind of makes things a bit easier. There are Goyo shields positioned at the top of garage towards that little corner, that 90 corner, so it's not all clean sailing all the way in, but it does look like this wall will get opened up. Hufkey being a little bit better with his bandit trick this time around than we saw on the last time.
I don't think he quite got it then.
Yeah,
that is the wall open.
And this time he's actually been caught out a little bit, not able to escape with all of his health, but he's still going to be able to play behind that bomb chassis inside of the site and delay a lot of time. Snubster goes to the window and takes him down. And now with this garage pressure that's being applied, they still need to deal with center half, the Jaeger, who is back inside of that oil pit. Essentially trying to land some shots onto Axis if he exposes himself.
And see, this is what I was talking about where I said I wanted to see a bit more garage aggression. I guess bringing that Monty for this site does allow them to do that in a very safe way.
Oh, Rizuko actually going to land the shot onto Kingsley. I believe that was from outside the breach. Yeah, very well done. Goyo shield going to be destroyed nice and early, just making sure you get all of the utility, all those points. And that's going to make aggressing on. Hey, plus 10 points is what you need. If you're playing Monty, you got to take all those opportunities to get those plus 10 points. Centaur has been forced out of the oil pit and is trying to play a little aggression inside the lounge. The drone spots him out though, and he's been trapped in this position. Thor through the wall using the pings, gonna take him down, and this is looking very likely an Enclave round. It's 5 versus 2. They have the Monty inside of garage. The smoke is already using his canisters with 40 seconds left to go. Trying to get aggressive on this breach, and some holes being opened up, forcing Nico to be just cautious of his entire surroundings. They're taking a bit of time to open up this wall, which is making that smoke more and more effective. Finally, I believe the thermite charge is going to resolve. They now have a way to get the Monty into the site to go for the plant. There is no one downstairs with C4s to be able to deal with them. And Access is just going to get aggressive, spot out the Goyo. Doesn't want to give up his position too much, but the Goyo shield detonates and Access gets taken down immediately. The C4, oh no, it doesn't go through. Rizuka gets caught in as he tries to throw smokes and aggress onto it. It's all left up to Nico, no C4, and the Vector not able to do enough. We're going to have a draw on map number 1.
Which is, again, that's fair play. I feel if I was Enclave, I would be happy with that. How about you?
Yeah, Enclave did a good job recovering. They were definitely down. The rehost that reset everyone's pings to an acceptable level did definitely help them out. But Budapest 5 still had a very strong showing. I feel like we've been talking about this probably too much from an Enclave side of things. What do you have to say about Budapest 5 through that map?
I think they've played amazingly. I mean, in general, at the moment, with a lot of teams, I think, given some of the more technical issues we are having with the servers, it is still amazing that players are able to play to the standard, but especially with Budapest 5, I'm surprised that that ended in a draw, like I say, because the way they were playing was just amazing. I feel, again, you've got players like Nico who are able to do this very big, aggressive, instant push confidently as well. There's no kind of dilly-dallying. It's just get in, get the job done.
Yeah, definitely. Nico, one of the standout players. Corvin had some good rounds as well. Basically, everyone
Fragmite.
Fragmite, getting a beautiful clutch in the before the rehost. Everyone in the lobby had good rounds, but that is only map number 1. We are going to go to a quick little 5-minute break, and then we'll be back at you with Enclave's pick of Cafe, where they will be starting on attack. So please don't go anywhere. That'll be coming up very shortly. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second map of the second game of Week 4 of Atlas Championship Series. One day I'm going to get that title down without messing up. My name is Dino, and I'm joined once again by Grace. Now, we've just seen a very exciting game go down to a draw on Clubhouse between Enclave and Budapest 5, and now we're going to move on over to Cafe, which is Enclave's pick. Grace, how do you think that's going to go?
I think Enclave might win it. I'm putting it out there. I felt the last map, I kind of got it semi right last time, saying that it was going to be a close one, and a draw is a pretty close one.
It doesn't get any closer.
It doesn't get any closer, indeed.
It actually cannot get any closer
physically
than a draw.
any closer. But I genuinely think Enclave are going to take this. How about you?
Yeah, we've seen Enclave perform exceptionally well on Cafe. Now, that's not to say Budapest aren't a good team on Cafe either, but I feel just from what we've seen before, where Enclave has been handed a beatdown and then magically come back, or almost magically come back, and perform exceptionally well on Cafe. My money is definitely on Enclave for the time being, but we are going to see Budapest 5 start out. The bands are going to get rid of a Thatcher this time. Which is, we saw a Maverick get banned out by Enclave last time round, so might change up the dynamics a little bit. And a Ying, although she wasn't played once on Clubhouse, is gonna be gone.
I wonder where that ban's come from, actually. Be quite interesting to see. Maybe they knew Budapest had something up their sleeve that to do with Ying. Maybe Enclave just fear Ying. Maybe when they're sleeping at night, they have visions of Ying coming forth towards them.
When they sleep at night, instead of like when they close their eyes, it's black, and it's just a bright white light, and they just wake up, cold sweats, panic attacks.
Ying is nice crepes, though. You gotta admit, nice crepes.
I have to admit, I've not noticed the operator's shoe selection.
You can't help but notice it with Ying. It's just a thing about that operator. She's got nice crepes. So we're seeing the Mirror and Maestro band there. Maybe they are scared of Nico coming on the aggressive Maestro again.
Wow. But it does leave Echo up on the board, which means picking an IQ is going to be all the more important for the attacking side. Doesn't look like we're going to see that just yet, though. The Monty, once again being selected, was very effective on that last round of Clubhouse, but no.
There we are.
There we are. As Nico switches onto the Echo as well, it's one step ahead, 2 steps behind, but only the casters are 2 steps behind.
I don't know why that made me think of Ying's shoes again, but
you've got shoes on the brain.
I really have shoes on the brain now. You can't do this to me, game. You can't just make Ying exist and me not think about shoes.
What I'm always interested by is how is Frost sponsored by Under Armour? The default Frost headgear has the Under Armour logo on it.
Well, I don't know if you've been doing it over quarantine, but there's the Frost workout schedules on YouTube. That's probably why. There's not really Frost workout schedules. Please don't go searching for that. I'm not responsible for anything that may come up if you do search for that.
That sounds like a great marketing idea, and either you need to contact Ubisoft and be like, "Oi, boys, I've got the play."
I've got the play. It's an entire Frost-based workout video.
Despite the fact that, lockdown hopefully is going to be over relatively soon.
At least in the UK.
At least in the UK. Apologies if you are anywhere else that is looking at a lot longer stretch of time for a lockdown. Didn't want to get your hopes up too much. Anyway, we should probably get back to talking about the game rather than the world as a whole.
Immediately, you've got the IQ of the breaching pads just opening up some of those windows, getting rid of some of the castle barricades. I love a top floor push. I love Bar as a site for this map.
Yeah, it's a very strong site to hold if you're the defenders, and you don't normally see the smoke playing quite as aggressively as this. Generally, you'd see potentially a warden. That's quite a common to see a warden, or the mute using the C4 to try and delay the smoke being there. Is a little risky, I feel, because if that's gone, then that's most of your plant denial beyond just the Echo. And with the IQ on the board, that Echo is not going to be as effective as you would like them to be.
I think, again here, I've said this for a very long time now, but I'm not sure how I feel about teams bringing IQ and Ash together, and I know it is a very common thing for people to do. Ooh.
Access going to make that IQ work though after the Echo manages to swing around and take down Rizuka, who'd gone for a rather aggressive drop onto that new hatch, potentially an accident, or potentially just to try and force a smoke out of his position. Drones downstairs are aware of this. Jaeger's position does a lot of damage to center half, but Thought not able to secure the kill. So he's just going to rotate off on up the white stairs. And now they do have piano control, but they've only got a minute left to try and make something work, and they still have mute jammers inside of the freezer to deal with, as well as that Echo.
And again, they do. Ooh.
Nico, what kind of a shot is that? You're supposed to be playing Echo. Why are you swinging on everything?
Again, though, like, this is what I was saying about Nico. He's a very aggressive player, and I love to see it. Maybe again, Enclave thinking we'll ban the Maestro, so Nico's nowhere near that awkward. I'm also a plant denier, but I'm a very aggressive player.
Potentially. Now, with 20 seconds to go, they have been able to successfully open up the freezer. Corvin playing closer on this top white stairs with the shotgun. Nico going to get his third kill in the round, taking down the Ash of Thor. The SMP-11 comes out, downs the Thermite. Snubs did get one onto Nico, so that's going to be the end of the Echo. No chance of an ace. Corvin finally finishes off Mana Crypt, and Snubs are getting 2 kills, but he's not going to have enough time left in this round to be able to find the final player of center half sitting around playing the bars inside of the site. Budapest, that was a very nice hold. Nico landed some great shots, but they did a very good job of throwing it at the end as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, because the wall onto freezer hadn't even been opened yet, and they had so much control of the defense, and I was slightly concerned for them when they started kind of losing that.
Yeah, I reckon if Snubster had about 5 more seconds, he would have won that round. Just the momentum he had going on there. Good job, especially after he took down Nico on that Echo, who, as I mentioned, you're playing Echo, man. Why the hell are you peeking?
So aggressive, so aggressive. I love it. Dangerous, but I love it.
It works.
It really does. I see you too like to live dangerously.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm going back downstairs now to kitchen.
Oh.
We again, Wamai and Jaeger. People are really bringing this a lot lately. Still unconvinced with it, but
it's so good at burning utility. It is.
If people are using the utility, yes, I'll agree. But and again, it's like I said before. It's not the if it was similar to an ADS where it does instantly destroy it, I would probably feel maybe a bit more like, yeah, okay, you know. But it doesn't destroy it; just pings it towards you.
Attacker's objective is to defuse the bomb.
Potentially, but how often do you see someone like Zofia still having stuns left at the end of the round? You may feel like, oh. I don't think Kingslayer was exactly expecting to see 3 people just swing that angle. Caught him up there, but no damage dealt either way. So everyone's going to be alive for the current time in the round. But getting back to talking about that one, he may not destroy the utility, but by being able to remove it, it means that you have to burn up more coming out from a Zofia. So if you had one ADS and Wamai at a doorway, you have to use 3 charges from one Zofia. So that's less utility going into the end of the round to be able to deal with a Maestro Cam or a deployable shield or a Goyo shield set up somewhere inside of the site. So a Wamai most definitely isn't as good as a Jaeger, but it does bring an added layer of defense for your team.
Yeah, for sure. And I think again, I think perhaps Ubisoft's plan to make Wamai played more by nerfing Jaeger is actually worked quite well. Because you're seeing teams that are bringing Wamai more, or they're bringing, in some cases, a Wamai instead of a Jaeger. which I'm finding surprising. Or they're still kind of using Jaeger, and I think it's worked out a lot better than I ever thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Enclave, while we've been talking about that, though, have been able to get quite a lot of control onto the site. They've been able to open up the prep hallway wall as well as the main bakery wall looking on into the site. The head, I believe that the Kaid was spotted but not able to be landed by Thor, so he's just going to be proning around inside of the site trying to find a different position, but being loud as anything while doing so. The nade comes through, he's still prone, can't move out quickly enough. Rizuko going to net the first kill of this round, but with less than a minute on the clock, Enclave still have a lot to try and work through.
Yeah, and again, like, how are these nade kills then happening if you've got a Wamai and a Jaeger? This is what I said even in the last map, that people are bringing these ops and then the nade kills are still happening. So is it really that efficient?
Ooh. Maybe, maybe not. Meanwhile, centre half was down upstairs. I don't believe anyone's going for the revive. No, actually, Corvin did go upstairs to try and go for the revive, and Access gets a free double because of it. Now it's just left up to Kingslayer inside of the site. Access is upstairs, but it's a 3 versus 1. Now an actual 3 versus 1 on the site. Access, though, comes down the red stairs and lands the shot. That was a very nice kill by Kingslayer, but not enough to finish it off. Access gonna net that round for Enclave.
That was actually quite a nice little round. I think that was well paced. Again, though, that nade kill, like, why? Like, if you've got that much, defensive utility to prevent things like that from happening, why is my guy dying?
True. Well, there were flashbangs, I believe, on the thermites. They could have been burnt up, and I don't think the position where Hufkey was playing was necessarily pre-planned by the team. It did seem to be a bit of an ad hoc rotation that got caught out effectively. So hopefully we won't see the same again. We will see a little bit more of an effective defense by Budapest, because Enclave got a lot of ground quite quickly for free. They didn't need to clear from that top down that we normally see. They just sat one player out on that train balcony. And
they just went straight into bakery, got their puddings, gone to site.
Did a little bit of shopping.
Shopping in a bakery? Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah.
What else are you going to do in a bakery?
I don't know. When you said shopping, again, thinking of crepes. The pastry kind this time, maybe.
5 seconds left.
We here at ACS do not advocate robbing bakeries. If you are in a bakery and want something, please do pay for it.
I just want to buy all the cakes and trainers now.
Oh, when lockdown's over, you're just going to go into town. Rob a Greg's and a JD Sports.
Maybe. Or just make a cake that's shaped like a trainer.
2 birds, 1 stone, definitely.
Exactly. That's what we like to see. Again, Enclave, they're getting very quick bakery control. That has not been adapted to.
Yeah, and they're not even electing to put an electrical on this wall early on, so that's going to be opened up 4-3 by the thermite. Our observer did point out that we do endorse people shooting each other inside of bakeries. But only within
Pretend
the context
bakeries.
of a video, but only within the context of a video game. Just for clarification, we do not support actually shooting people inside of actual bakeries. Now, we are seeing Enclave get this wall opened up much quicker than even in the last round, which still was very fast. Access doing a good job with that Maverick, getting the wall open. The Kaid being spotted out on this drone. Gonna make
Kaid
them
in
very aware.
a slightly safer place this time, up on the top. He's
not very safe anymore.
Not very safe anymore. But he's no longer in a position where he can get naded out, and he is joined there by the Jaeger, I believe.
Yeah, the Jaeger playing close on the wall. They don't actually have the wall open for the moment. I think they're waiting for Zofia to come around. Oh no, they're using a sledge on it. That's very confident, to say the least. Centre half in not a very nice position to be in. Having to hold this pixel angle to stop anyone from pushing on into the site. And he's just going to try and wait and delay as much time as possible. Things getting caught by ADS's Amble Mize there. Doesn't actually get rid of the electrical itself. So just going to sit. This is a nice angle being held by Nico using the shield. And with 50 seconds to go, Enclave, it's still a 5 versus 5. And this one, my utility is going to come through. Burning a lot of flashbangs, a lot of impacts and stuns already being used up. Smoke canisters as well coming out by the smoke himself deep inside of the site. This is a nice angle being held by Rizuko, aware that he was caught out from it last time. He's just trying to work these angles. They're aware that Center Half's in this position. The SMG-11 comes on out and he's able to take him down. Less than 30 seconds on the clock. And finally, this push is starting to come through in earnest. Kingslayer manages to get one onto Manacrypt, but has traded out Access, rotating around the back lines, as Rez as well had gotten the smoke deep inside the site. Husky trades out Access, so that rotation from behind isn't going to be there anymore. Rizuko has started to get the plant down, and with a little bit of cover on hand, Thor takes down Nico. Husky lands the shot onto Thor, though the C4 comes on out, but Rizuko finishes it off, taking down Husky to give Enclave the round. And that was their execute. While a little slow paced to begin with, is exceptionally well coordinated in my opinion.
Yeah, they are definitely. They're taking advantage of a lot of things as well. Like we say, maybe Budapest 5 should be adapting to the fact that they're taking Bakery so quickly, but they're just letting it happen and kind of playing a more kind of structured defense behind that Bakery wall. But again, it didn't really work out for them.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see any nade kills come through that round, so...
We didn't, which is good, because it means, yeah. And again, like I say, we did actually get to see the Wamais in action, kind of doing their job a bit more. So, maybe I take back what I said. Maybe I do. Maybe.
Props to my boy Wamai. Anyway, going back up to this top floor, Budapest 5 did win it. Well, they were looking like they were winning it very effectively. Then it came down to the last few seconds, and Snubster did their best to punish them for it. Hopefully, we'll see Snubster be a little bit more effective on the initial start, on the initial part of the attack. The initial start of the attack is exactly the same thing, so we'll just move past that. What kind of adaptations do you want to see coming out from Enclave, though? It was basically a losing round when Snubster started to turn things up.
Yeah, I think again, just more of that kind of fast aggression at the start, getting very close to site, practically pressing their faces against the site within the first 30 to 40 seconds. Realistically, though, I think just seeing a bit more of the IQ utility being used, perhaps also being very aware again, they're going to go against Nico again on this site, which last time wasn't really great for them. It would be interesting to see if they use any more utilities to deal with that, or maybe they just play a bit more of a passive angle on attack. I'm not sure.
Yeah. This castle is playing inside a piano. It's not a very healthy situation to be in, and absolutely not as he gets taken down by Snubster using the pixel angle on the top of those walls. Now, if you don't know, the top of those walls at the red stairs can be destroyed, and it gives you a nice little angle over the top. So, very well played by them, and Kingslayer giving up his life basically for free, not dealing any damage onto anyone in that situation.
And effectively, unlikely going to be stopping that push into kind of Christmas cigar.
Yeah. Good job to burn all the ADSs positioned at the top of red, though, to give Rizuko that free nade kill. I'm really interested to see where he's throwing these nades from. I think he's 2 for 2 getting the player inside of, or trying to hold that red stairs drop down.
For sure, Corvin again holding this tight angle that you often see a lot of people holding on this site. Perhaps due to the fact that it is a 3v5, he will be a bit more passive with it though.
Potentially, although this is kind of the time where if you're Budapest 5, you might start searching for a kill. You want to get a little bit more momentum going your way, especially seeing as Nico has now been taken down by Thor, the IQ winning out that engagement. It's all left up to Center Half and Corvin, who have played very well throughout this map and the last, but in a 2 versus 5 with so much time left on the side or for the attackers, it's not looking very likely. The C4 comes on out. It doesn't really do much of anything. Actually, no, deals no damage to anyone on Enclave, and the wall is still going to be opened up. Spray coming through takes about half of Corvin's health away, and is being aggressed onto from the top of the white stairs from Piano as well. Center half so up close. He could get caught up by the skylight, but no, he's ready and waiting for it. It doesn't even matter. Snubster with the repeak takes his head clean off, and now it's all left up to Corvin. They know precisely where he is. The shotgun comes out. He gets one, but the Nomad charge is actually able to, well, give access the free kill. And
little
Enclave,
Corvin could have done then.
Yeah, at that point in the round, it was basically over.
Yeah.
This has been, you know, the first round was the only one that particularly felt close. It's been really dominant for Enclave just all the way through.
Again, like I say, my prediction is that it is going to be that Enclave take this map. I slightly wish that perhaps you would have said different, because then we could put a wager on it. Maybe I'd get myself some free crepes.
No.
You're not into that kind of wager.
No. I wager Kit Kats and Twixes.
I can't eat any of those.
Vegan Kit Kats. Yeah, we still have the clean feed up on our end as casters. I understand we might be having a little bit of technical difficulties, so it's going to refresh the screen, and hopefully it'll be back up for you. Our producer not having a... yep, there we are. Producer has got it back up and running. Sorry about that, for those of you who saw a black screen for a few seconds there. Very creatively, Budapest 5 elected to go back up to the top floor and bring exactly the same set of operators. So...
Do you think the castle's gonna hold the same place again?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It's a nice idea to try and sit inside of that piano area, but generally if you're going to have a castle play there, you would invest a lot more utility, more ADSs, more castle barricades, to just make it a bit easier to protect yourself.
Definitely. I'm not sure whether that went horribly wrong because it's a bad idea, or whether Kingslayer has something up his sleeve that perhaps we're not aware of yet.
True. True. There might be a different strategy coming on out, and ooh.
The sneaky Jaeger in mining room.
I don't think he has any windows prepped though. But we have seen Enclave not put any claymores or nomads outside of this window. If center half really wanted to, he could probably get a free kill onto this IQ. If he had the window prepped. Oh, he does have the window prepped.
Just saw as well Kingslayer rotating on the castle back down towards the Jaeger, so I guess he isn't playing the same as last time. Dropping down to the lower floor, which is potentially could be quite dangerous.
It does mean that Enclave are going to have to waste a lot of time, though. It might be a little dangerous to, you know, be in that situation when you need to recover and help your team. The jump out works, actually takes down the IQ, but is immediately traded off for access. Having fallen off the balcony meant that it was a little slow to get that kill. Frag Grenade tries to open up the castle barricade. Razuko again, able to take down the smoke, trying to play up on that angle. And the jump out again! This time, Kingslayer are going to get the kill onto Access. This aggression from Budapest 5, which we saw so frequently on Clubhouse, finally being brought here on Cafe, and it's working for them in this round. Now 3 versus 3. Corvin has taken up this position previously held by Hufkey to try and be a bit more aggressive onto the red stairs drop.
For sure, and maybe again, this is allowing Kingslayer to get the aggression that perhaps he was trying to get last round. Corvin, though, successfully able to run back into the bathroom, so he's not going to be in that position any longer. Now, with this red stairs control coming through, they might be able to actually start working the site itself, but with only about 35 seconds left on the clock, Nico's still on the board, and that's going to make the Echo Drone so much more effective, especially seeing as Thor is no longer around with the IQ gadget to eliminate them. There's no Thatcher available to disable them temporarily. This is going to be really difficult to try and make something happen, and they're wasting a lot of time. Finally, they take down the player inside of the bathroom.
Corvin gone. Kingslayer trades back onto Rizuko. Mana Crypt does get the plant
15
down.
seconds left.
And now it's all
Attackers are
left up
activating the bomb
to the
diffuser.
castle and the Echo to
Located the
try and make
diffuser.
something happen. The Echo drone spots out where the diffuser is, but they're not going to be able to rotate and make anything happen for the time being, especially seeing as Kingslayer gets eliminated. Now all left up to Nico. Just trying to work these angles and make something happen. Rotating on through top of the cocktail. As he's pushing on in. Might be some aggression coming through from Enclave, trying to throw this away. Yet the Nomad gets taken down. Now 1 versus 1. The player from Enclave is sat on the roof, just trying to waste as much time as possible. It's Mana Crypt on the Thermite. Nico not going to go for the disable, trying to find the frag, and that's going to be the round for Enclave, even as Budapest can't get the disable off in time. Mana Crypt as well, getting the kill to finish it off. So that was a very well played round by Enclave, even though Budapest did a good job to counter what we were seeing from them in the earlier rounds.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it was nice to see that kind of aggressive play come back, like you say, from the first map. I guess Castle's positioning last round made perfect sense. He got, I think it was a double kill in the round we just saw. So finally allowing himself to use that aggression that perhaps, Budapest 5, perhaps they are very comfortable with aggression, like we've previously said. So it does work better for them. But ultimately, it's Enclave are just walking in there.
Yeah. Enclave's attacks are much better than what we see from a lot of teams when it comes to Cafe. Generally,
Attackers
it's
need to locate and defuse
a
the
heavily
bomb.
defender-sided map. All of the sites, can be defended really effectively. Especially this top floor cocktail, generally seen as most teams' favorable site.
And this is what I find quite interesting, actually, because obviously this is Enclave's map pick, and if they're doing this well on an attack when it is typically a defended-sided map, what are they going to be like on defense?
Yeah,
Attackers have
that's
discovered
most
I'm-
definitely the scary part.
I'm looking forward to seeing this, genuinely.
Well, judging by how well the attack's going, we might not actually see too many defensive rounds. Kingslayer switched up from the
5
castle
seconds left
onto the
before
dock, and
insertion.
he's all the way down on the basement. Hunting drones just now is able to get 2, and it looks like he wants to go for a bit of a spawn peek, opening up the bottom of the barricade, and looking on out. There are players spawned over there, but I don't think they will fall for this, having noticed that he just shot Snubster's drone right in that location. So be awfully careful coming on up. The spray comes through, not able to land any shots, and he's just going to rotate away. No damage dealt either way once again. So these spawn peaks by Budapest, they want to get that aggression going early on in the round, trying to give them a man advantage, but it's just really not working out for them.
I think they're getting a bit confident now that a few of those runouts worked. Realistically, if you're 4-1 up, you should be trying to play a bit more passively on defense, in my opinion.
Yeah. The runouts, while they were able to net 2 kills, they were immediately traded, so they weren't all that
Yeah.
effective in actuality. Hopefully, I like it actually when Budapest plays a bit more passively and then they show that additional aggression later on. I like how they've switched up this
Yeah.
hold though. I'm not entirely sure where they will be using the rest of their reinforcements. I've given up top of red just for free, not reinforced. They haven't even reinforced this bar area or this bar wall from Piano either. Center half lead off kill, taking down the IQ as well. Budapest 5 are doing a good job in this round.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely delaying Enclave's progression towards the site a lot more than in previous rounds. I think Enclave especially have probably learned a bit more from the previous rounds to maybe be more aware when getting towards the building at the start of the round.
Yeah.
Perhaps that is again that paired with the fact that, as you say, Snubster did see Kingslayer. I think they're kind of wising up to those kind of tricks.
Yeah. What is going to be difficult though is trying to open up this wall. They've got no pressure over towards the top of white. gonna just go for it immediately. The C4 prepped and ready to be thrown out by Corvin. And these long angles open up does mean that if anyone on the defending team was to swing out over by New Balcony, they could land a shot onto Access, but that's not going to happen for the time being. Access actually able to open up the wall, if I believe my ears correctly, taking a little bit of damage, and Razuko taking a lot of damage. The Dock of Kingslayer taking down the Sledge of Razuko. No more nades available. He had used up one previously to get rid of the shield at the top of the white stairs. C4 comes through, doesn't do anything either, but Corvin still playing aggressively with the shotgun, the spam from the Maverick. And all the time is just drifted away magically right at the end of the round. The rush on in, not going to happen. Spammed through the wall. Corvin getting his second kill, snubs the swings on through, takes down Corvin, but that's the round over. And Enclave, they had done such a good job dealing with this aggression that we saw from Budapest 5, where they were playing a lot more aggressively over by piano kind of area and having that roamer downstairs. Enclave did a good job of dealing with that. But as soon as that got scaled back heavily, Enclave wasted a lot of time.
They did, and again, I think it's that kind of fear when people know there's a lot of long angles to deal with from these kind of holds. It does kind of prevent those slightly more aggressive pushes.
Yeah, for sure. It must have been playing in the mind of Access when he was trying to open up that freezer wall, that if he's not careful enough, someone will peek out from the New Balcony, because they just didn't have the man count to be able to deal with all of those angles. So that will definitely affect how you're playing the site, but we are going to see how Enclave choose to play this downstairs site. Kitchen is the first one they elect to go to.
Seeing some Goyo action, seeing some Jaeger and Legion. I'm still surprised that people are still using Legion. I know that he is a useful operator, but in terms of really what he is traditionally used for, I don't think it's that effective anymore in terms of gathering a lot of intel. I'd say it more delays pushes immediately onto the site.
Yeah, the Legion is nowhere near as strong as he was. He's not as good as an intel op as he was. You can't just throw them anywhere and play off of it. However, it's still just a very strong operator to bring, especially when you know that Enclave is prone to just randomly bringing out that Monty. So from the side of Budapest, it makes a lot of sense. They're going to bring out that Monty, we want something good to counter it. And also, it just means that you need to play Legion a little closer to the site. Center half already using his Zofia, both impacts and one of his stuns. Does take down a Goyo shield, but doesn't deal any damage onto Snubs. He's still going to be able to play inside of VIP and waste a lot of time sitting in this position. It is basically a death sentence, but you know, as a Goyo, you've already used up your impacts and site rotations. You've set your gadget down in different locations, which can be used by your team. So you just sit here with a Vector and try and play these closer angles, and this might actually work on out. The Zofia goes for the swing, but the higher damage assault rifle able to win that fight out, and that gives up a lot of this backside pressure. Access as well going down to Corvin, and Thor getting Corvin as well. Oh my god, Corvin just walks on in, gets a triple kill. Kingslayer gets the last one onto Manacrypt, and what on earth happened there?
Yeah, perhaps not what Enclave were expecting, but whatever Budapest 5 were expecting, it definitely played out well. That was a flawless round, as we saw. They just kind of walked in and killed everyone.
Yeah.
Quite surprised, though, about the Goyo dying first, though. Kind of felt like maybe a slightly more tighter angle to the left would have helped there, but it's very hard to say. Again, Budapest 5 being a very aggressive team, they are going to kind of swing around and pre-fire, and sometimes people can't deal with that aggression as much in the moment. It was just unfortunate.
We've definitely seen everyone on Enclave show up when the moment calls for it, but you know, everyone loses gunfights every now and then.
For sure.
It looked like a well-constructed hold, but when you just lose all of your gunfights, because it's not like they just lost one gunfight. Corvin just walked in and got 3. They lost all of their gunfights. It's very difficult to have the confidence to go back to that site immediately, which is probably why we're going to see Enclave go all the way up to this cocktail bar site. So it's again a very strong site. Generally, most teams' first pick. We see all of the default holes being opened up behind the default plant spot, and
very intel heavy hold. We've got the Legion, the Valkyrie, and the Echo could potentially also be used for intel.
And Budapest haven't brought out an IQ, so that's going to be quite interesting. There's also only 2 sets of nades. They're going to be in the pocket of Kingslayer, so that's going to make attacking this quite difficult, I believe, for Budapest, unless they're able to just win all their gunfights once again.
As well, here we are, they're being very aggressive. Like, they are going to make sure that they are getting every single rotation as well. Obviously, on their defensive sides, they got a fair few kills by just kind of flanking and sneaking around a little bit more. So naturally on attack, they will be aware of maybe their own tricks being used against them.
Yeah, I definitely seem aware of some downstairs presence, but they are already impacting that top floor presence, getting some control over Piano with the thermite charge.
I feel like I slightly felt that they would have been maybe closer on site by now. Although evidently it's worked out probably very well for them, because they are slightly aware, like you say, of these downstairs presences. Yeah, 4 is gonna go down.
Exposing himself by that main door. Ash waiting on outside, going to take him out, but it's only a Jaeger gone. Not too much to worry about if you are Enclave. But the C4 coming out from ACS, used relatively early on. Generally, you'd see that want to be used later on in the round to try and stop the plant, but it does take down centre half, one of the top fraggers for Budapest, and that's a Zofia gone very early on.
Some serious drywall work coming up. A bomb has been located.
Oh, Snubster as well, going to land the headshot onto Hufky. That's the Ash out of the round. And this is looking like Enclave are going to be able to take this. Especially when your Nomad just jumps on in. Razuko takes down Corvin. Kingslayer trades out ACS, so 2 versus 3. And with about 30 seconds to go, there is still smoke on the board as well as a Legion and an Echo smoke.
Echo, yeah.
Yeah, first to go. And the push is starting to come on through with about 20 seconds left. Beautifully cooked nade takes down Snubster. And now it's all left up to Razuko. He wants to try and deny this plant more than anything. Here's it going down close to the freezer door, and we'll be able to land the shot onto the thermite. The Maverick rotated all the way around. Kingslayer coming in from behind, trying to find out where he is. The ping's coming through, but no, Razuko just plays it safe and wins that out. That was very well played by Enclave, especially by Razuko at the end. How do you feel about that round?
I see, this is a thing. I feel that it kind of was very evident that both teams were using a lot of their more intel gathering utility, especially when we saw the kill onto Jaeger on that main door. I just think, realistically, I wasn't expecting it to go to like a 2v1 at the end. The way that everything was playing out, I figured that maybe Enclave were just gonna kind of play it a bit safer and just basically go like a knife through butter, but slightly trickier.
Yeah. To lose a, what was that, a 3 versus 2? To win it in a 1 versus 2, getting the kill onto the planter and then running away. Really not how you want to be taking those rounds. But a good job by Razuko nonetheless. Quite interesting that we're seeing them go to this fireplace though. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. I found it very, very good that really Razuko on the Echo, instead of just relying on the Yokai drone, just was like, you know what, nah, I know where he is, I'm just gonna go for it. And that effectively won them the round.
Yeah, not staying in that one position does work out well for them. He could have had his Echo Drone shot out. We aren't privy to that information. But going on to this round, though, we're seeing Enclave not go back downstairs to that kitchen, and are instead going to show us our first fireplace of today.
What do you think of this side?
It plays out very similarly to just holding top floor. Because you try and deny so much of the attack going across from above. Very interesting that they're just playing a much more turtle strategy on the cocktail with no extension out anywhere on that top floor.
I think as well as, like you say, when people are attacking the site, they are naturally going to attack it very similar. Similar. You know what I'm trying to say?
I get it.
Yeah, to a bar take where you do push cigar first, and sometimes I think it's interesting when teams try and use that kind of push against people, like they kind of bamboozle them a little bit by making sure that they have intel in those specific areas.
Oh! The Legion was droned out, and Kingslayer felt confident in the peak, even hitting him with a nice shot, but Snubster just completely takes his head off. Thor trying to get in on that TY as well, but no, Thor, you weren't the one to land the shot. That was a great peak by the Legion. And that's the Maverick gone as well.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Realistically though, they still have the Thermite, so they just have to adapt to that very quickly.
Still have the Thermite, and there isn't any breach denial. Top floor control has been conceded for the most part. Hufky does get the kill onto Snubs. I'm not entirely sure where that was. And he's Access still trying to play this little wreck corner at the top of the white stairs by the blue tarps. Gets one for his troubles, and that's the Thermite gun. So all the hard breach potential for Budapest is off the board.
We are going to see some nice gunfights then, hopefully, because they will have to attack that site directly. Although looking at it, they are just sticking with the very safe bet play.
How the hell is Hufky just inside of the site? He just Norarengos his way in, as you would put it yourself. Hufky finally, though, finished off by Razuka, the castle, playing close to the site itself, gets the kill. A little bit of back and forth over on the white stairs. Not going to land anything. The Mozzie finally taken down by Corvin, though, and that's a good opportunity to go for a plant. Corvin hit by the goo mine. It's going to have to delay a little bit longer. The Zofia taking a lot of damage from Razuko. He's not in a great position to try and stop this plant and might get caught off trying to push on through it, and that is exactly the case. The Zofia lying down inside of the washing room. It's going to take down Razuko, and these have been some nice rounds coming out by Budapest.
Yeah, indeed, they are. They're proving us slightly wrong at this point. Maybe we will end up with another draw again. I can't say right now. Slightly surprised how that round went, considering, like you say, like both of the hard breaches kind of went. But, and I, you know, did think it was going into an old-fashioned gunfight, and evidently Budapest 5 kind of came on top of that.
Yeah, we do see quite a bit. Well, we have seen quite a bit of Budapest just winning out gunfights, but that was a really strange round, just all in all. And Enclave are going to go back down to that reading room fireplace. How do you feel about that? Not switching it up and wanting to go back down to the kitchen.
It's a little bit risky, but maybe they're going with the kind of, oh, we can just, you know, change and adapt to it, and we know what went wrong that time. We can stop it from happening again.
Yeah.
I don't know, it'll be interesting, really. Don't really see too much changing on their part. Looking at how they're setting this up, it's... Maybe it is, again, they're just trying to think about getting the same kind of picks they did, but
10 seconds left.
they all appear to be holding upstairs. Again, very common for this site, like we said previously.
Attackers are heading out to
Yeah,
defuse a bomb.
a lot of utility being invested up towards the top. And it didn't really work out too well for Enclave. I think they were able to get one kill from it. The Access playing in the little corner lands the shot onto the Thermite after the Maverick had already been taken down. It's not exactly the best generally you would want a lot more time being wasted. I feel like there was still quite a lot of time left on the clock for Budapest to go for their attack. So to delay a lot longer and to be able to get out safely as well, to have all of your players sitting on site or close to site with the potential to roam is going to be a lot better for you than just maybe netting a cheap one on the top floor.
For sure.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Husky kind of slowly progressing, looking for Enclave that are holding top floor.
Yeah, he's done this quite a bit, just crouch walking up and trying to find his way on in. Centre half opening up that castle barricade means that Afki won't be able to go for the run across onto the new balcony. It also puts Access in a bit of a tricky situation, playing these punch holes on the cocktail bar. Corvin going to take down Thor elsewhere on the map though, so Access just immediately dips out of that, not wanting to be anywhere on the receiving end of Hufkey or centre half. But that's going to mean top floor control very early on given over to Budapest 5, and that's going to make this really difficult if you're Enclave.
Yes, especially because that's kind of what I wouldn't say lost from the round last time, but it definitely helped the attackers to kind of turn the round around last time.
Oh. The important thing for me though is that Access was able to get down safely, so he'll still be able to impact the rest of this round. Centoff has used up all of the utility from his lifeline gadget, so not too many more holes are going to be able to be opened up in this floor. And Enclave are all playing in rather safe positions, trying to deny the plant as much as possible. The Thermite getting the wall over by pillars. That gives them another angle if they want to push on it.
Ooh, an Axis taking down two. She's definitely going to balance out the playing field a bit more.
Yeah, off a great flank, somehow managing to make his way up the red stairs. And oh, he gets a third. Playing in yet another little rat corner, Rizuka gets one into Hufkey, and Kingslayer trades out Snubster, but it's all left up to Kingslayer now.
15 seconds remaining.
Little that Kingslayer can do in this position.
10 seconds to go.
He's pushed on into the fireplace. He doesn't even have the diffuser in hand. He's just trying to find as many frags as he can. But no, Rizuko not even going to give him one. So we're going to have a bit of a rehost now as we see Corvin sitting on a casual 460 ping. Down to 400. That's playable, man. Come on. Just go with it. Just play on it.
We'll wing it. It's fine.
Yeah. But no. To keep it safe and sensible, they are actually going to go for a rehost. And Enclave are currently sitting on match point. Budapest 5 have had a good half this time around. How do you see the rest of this match going?
I think Enclave, realistically, they probably will win. I think there have just been, there have been so many calls where people have just rotated or they've changed things very last minute and it's worked out well for them. Even like you say, Access last round being able, I will point out, to safely drop down, and then again getting 3 kills after that.
Yeah.
Realistically as well, if you're bringing things like a Nomad, you should be able to counter those kind of safe rotations away from the action. I know this is obviously Enclave's site, map rather, but I was expecting a bit more from Budapest 5 on this map. And as a result, I do think Enclave are going to win it. How about you?
Yeah, Enclave definitely have the advantage in my mind. At least they are sitting on match point. So it does bode well for them pushing forward. However, and they do actually get to defend that cocktail bar up next. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens next after that cocktail bar site, because it's going to throw the advantage. Well, it's going to put them in a bit of a tricky situation for when they want to defend that final. Actually, no, if they win the cocktail site, they're already on match points. That's the game. So Budapest are going to have an absolute challenge coming up for them. We know how well Enclave can protect that top floor site. And yeah, that's going to be really difficult. What adjustments do you want to see coming out from Budapest to be able to win this?
I think when they are more aggressive, it seems to work for them. So realistically, I would like to see them try and get onto site as quick as possible, just to throw in a little bamboozle, little sprinkle of surprise. But I don't know, they really, again, like they brought the utility for those to prevent those flanks, and the flanks were happening. And I think that is a big reason why Enclave are doing so well, because they are making the safe calls instead of just peaking stuff, which Budapest are more likely to do. So perhaps I'm kind of stuck on whether to say I want to see them go full Norarengo and just rush in and see what they can do, or whether they are going to kind of play more passively and slowly. At the same time, I feel like playing more slowly will just open them up to more rotates.
Yeah, the way that this is difficult to phrase. I feel like being able to hold that red stairs rotation from flanks is always really difficult, especially if you're using a nomad and you don't have a drone left up. So in that last round, Access being able to get up to the top, it's not really surprising, but it's not very good at all, because you need to have a bit more utility potentially being invested there. And one thing that might have played into Enclave's advantage was that they hadn't actually gotten a kill onto any of the Budapest members, so they might have had a drone pre-placed in that position to prevent a possible flank. That was a lot of P's in one sentence. But it because no one was dead, they were all probably either looking at other drones in other places, or they were, I don't know, just not particularly paying attention to that flank, and it gave Access the ability to get 2 kills onto players trying to aggress through the pillars area onto the site, and then just playing in that little rat corner at the top of the red stairs, uh, able to get the third, and that is the round right there. Budapest 5 did almost nothing wrong other than cover their flanks properly. And how do you feel about bringing that Nomad over probably a Gridlock?
Why not both?
That's a lot of utility invested.
Yeah, but realistically, if that's your main weakness, maybe just, I don't know. It's a hard call to say sometimes. I prefer Nomad on the basis that it feels a bit more streamlined and less clunky. I think obviously Gridlock is very slow, and with their kind of play style, I don't know how running someone like a Gridlock would work well. Unless they were just gonna kind of be like a tank of sorts.
Yeah.
Just kind of slowly roll in and then just rely on the ability to just quickly click head.
True. Although I am
I think,
personally a big advocate for Gridlock on Cafe.
how come?
Well, she has 3 track stingers, so you can put them on all 3 staircases if you choose to cover all of your flanks. You don't necessarily always need to put them on all 3 staircases, so you could get creative with the last one, using it when the planet is going down to try and mask the noise. She has smoke grenades, which are always just so incredibly useful, and you know, just pop them when you're going to go for a plant or to help cover the crosses, because there are lots of long angles that can be held. And she has a shotgun, so if they're on any site other than the top floor, you can immediately be effective at providing vertical control. Whereas a Nomad just has 3 beepy bouncy boys.
Yeah.
And
I mean, breaching pads as well. I think she sells breaching pads, but I mean, I guess so. I think I just feel with Gridlock sometimes, if I was on the fence, or no, if I was on attack rather, and I kind of heard a Nomad going off, you instantly know that person, they are not able to shoot you for at least like a second or two.
yeah.
I think that's why I prefer Nomad over Gridlock, which is a very lazy way of probably choosing between the two operators, realistically. But like you say, Gridlock, she has smokes, which again, struggling to get the plant down as they are, that could come in handy. Absolutely. I don't know. I will be watching very attentively to see if they do decide to change that up a little bit. They do bring a gridlock, but I think as well because if you are trying to stop people from rotating as well, there's not really how to explain it. If you I think sometimes people are a bit like oh whatever about it when they are trying to rotate through gridlock stingers, where they do kind of just be like I'm not even going to try and destroy this. I'm just going to run for it.
Mm.
And sometimes, especially in the heat of the moment, you may not hear someone rotating slowly, given, but just rotating through those stingers. And if you react too slow to them when they suddenly come up behind you, like, hello, surprise, it's me.
It's Johnny.
It's Johnny. Or Big Bertha, as my friend calls her.
Or Gridlock.
Yeah, I think it's Big Wonder, that's it. My friend calls
Wonder.
it Big Wonder.
Right.
Big Wonder. So
well, shout out to your friend. Big Wonder.
But no, I will but again, like you say, gridlock having the shotgun if you are gonna go for vertical play, or you are gonna try and make quick rotations, or say for example they got the plant down with the smokes and you pull back a bit and you use that shotgun just to give a bit more it obviously have to be executed super quick. But realistically, I think these players are at the standard where they could do something like that, where they could just really quickly be like bish bash bosh and give themselves some extra lines of sight.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too out of the realm of reality for them all.
Yeah.
But obviously only time can tell what they do actually turn around and bring to the table. I'm excited now. You've got me hyped up.
To potentially see a gridlock be brought
yeah.
out. I don't think
Are
we'll
we going to see Big Wonder? Are we going to see her?
I think Big Wonder isn't going to be singing the swan song today. It will probably be a continuation of what we've seen of just Nomad throughout. And
Nomad perhaps with some more sprinkling of claymores inside the building.
Potentially.
As opposed to, because I think at this point you'd be able to kind of be like, Enclave aren't really running out or doing these kind of runouts that we've been doing. Maybe save that utility for something else instead of just being like classic mining window, which I think at this point a lot of people do expect it, so a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah. But the thing is, like you say, if you put the claymore on the mining window, lots of people expect the jump out, so lots of people put the claymore there, so not many people jump out. It's, you know, how much time realistically now, since they've introduced the changes to make dropping red and new balcony, or since they reworked the map, how much time do you actually spend just sitting on the windows anymore? Quite often teams do get in very quickly, and speaking of getting in very quickly, that's not what happened here, but we are going to finally be getting on into the map. Corvin hopefully has sorted out his internet issues, and we will see what could potentially be the final round on Cafe.
Cafe Olay, let's go. I want to see what they're bringing. Will we see this gridlock? No, we will see the Nomad. Which
but we
are
that's seeing
fine.
A Clash Monty face-off.
Ooh, bit of spice.
And they both.
Oh, they're both. Oh, they gotta do us like that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Get us all excited for nothing. But again, it's like, okay, so if they are bringing the Nomad, I will be quite curious to see the utility being used to prevent flanks. And again, maybe Enclave kind of being like, bring the Valkyrie again, not the Clash. Maybe they kind of, not chickened out last minute, but maybe they kind of like, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Because I feel like Clash, especially if they're on bar, what would you really be using Clash for outside of a walking door, essentially? Not sure what your opinion on that is, but sometimes I feel like Clash is just used as a kind of walking door. You want to come through this door? No, you can't, because I'm standing here, kind of thing. It can be very nyeh, but I feel like I am glad with that they chose to go back to the Valkyrie for that, because I think the intel game is essentially going to be a lot better for them.
Yeah, definitely in this situation, I feel choosing the Valkyrie plays out better for them, especially seeing as
Attackers are
how
heading out
Budapest,
to
I don't
defuse the
think
bomb.
once on Cafe have brought an IQ. So that's really quite atypical of what we see from most teams, especially what we've seen from Enclave when they were on their attack. And as well, I do feel Clash can be quite strong if you successfully play out over by the top of the white stairs hallway close to piano. Instead of having someone with a shield sit there, you have a Clash play there. Then when things go wrong, I think my computer may have died.
No, I can hear you still, don't worry.
Oh, no,
No
my
death here.
wallpaper engine crashed and it made my screen go black for about 5 seconds.
Why are you making wallpapers at a time like this?
I'm not making wallpapers. The wallpaper engine crashed on its own.
I know your
everyone's having
game.
Technical issues.
You've got a really big zoomed in photo of Wanda. Big Wanda herself.
Why you've got to expose me like this, man?
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
So we are gonna see.
Enclave have managed to, well, Budapest 5 actually have managed to get their way on into Cigar and Piano. The thermite charge being resolved on top of the red stairs wall will give them access there. I'm not going to necessarily be able to make too much come from it immediately. Accesses Vault cams inside of Piano, going to be giving a lot of information. Maverick playing safely on the actual piano itself, where you can't be C4'd from. Trying to burn the ADSs and the Wamais close to that shield to force it off so they can more effectively aggress onto the freezer bathroom walls. Don't think that's been successfully done so far. And Husky, for whatever reason... Oh! I couldn't see that. Access was actually playing downstairs, and Husky wins the fight. Husky only actually losing about 10 points of health, and that's a Valk with C4 gone off the board. Thor, though, trades it back, takes down Corvin, the Nomad gone, so no more air jabs available. But Thor's going to have a real difficult time trying to hold this, as Husky is going to be aware of where he was close to. He's going to be trying to find that flank and kill. Just holding, waiting for potentially Thor to run up those white stairs. Try and get back onto site when the execute goes on down, but Thor likewise is holding for the cross himself. It's a waiting game, but in this environment, Thor is always going to have the advantage, just being able to sit here as passively as possible.
Centre half taking down Rosiri, that's going to be slightly dangerous. Obviously, the only real way to deny a plant now, but the Valt's gone as well with the C4.
Mana Crypt is still on the board with the smoke, but somehow center half is deep inside of the site, and Nico has actually been able to go for the plant close to the freezer wall. The smoke pushing on in, the shots being missed by both parties. He rushes on through, the plant goes down, and one player's down on the floor. The Zofia was killed off, so it's all left up to Kingslayer and Thor now in a 1 versus 1. Thor on the flank. I don't know if he's been spotted, but the Nomad charge will give it away. They know that the player is down, and Kingslayer, who remained over by the piano area, is going to be able to finish that off, and that was,
we spoke we spoke about them being very wary of the red stairs rotation, and they nomaded it, and it actually played off well this time, because that late rotation during when you're the last person alive isn't really not ideal, especially when you know they are going to probably bring a Nomad.
I mean, Mana Crypt did a good job on the site to be able to kill the planter, well, down the planter and kill the cover close by. But with the freezer wall being, the freezer wall being opened up, and for whatever reason, the Maverick was still sitting all the way back, playing very safe.
Bombs from being defused by attackers.
I mean, I don't know why I said for whatever reason. Did precisely the very smart thing to do to help assist your team and win the round. Was able to get the kill onto the smoke, and Thor, he needed to get away back onto the site, and that was probably his best way of doing so. The adjustments by Corvin to switch of where they put the Nomad charge, winning them the round. And now we're going to see Enclave try and do exactly the same again, but this time successfully.
I think again they've chosen that Falco for the Clash again, so I think they've completely given up on that Clash idea. Makes me curious about whether they would have done just that long hold at the top of white stairs, but
the Clash was probably just a bait to try and change up how Budapest wanted to play it, but Budapest didn't change anything in their lineup that they didn't already plan to change, so there's no point attempting to stick with it.
Again, I think they're going to go for that very quick cigar take.
The fact that Maverick is using his fuel on these hatches, he's done it basically every single round.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'd rather see utility be used where it's meant to be used. I don't mean that in a rude way. I just mean there's definitely other places that Maverick could be used at this point. Don't you agree?
True, but likewise, Enclave aren't bringing any breach denial at all. So you don't need to then use the Maverick if you don't need to go up against any breach denial. You can just successfully use the Thermite very well. So Axis trying to play these downstairs at angles. All he really does is give up his position, doesn't land any shots, but receives none in return. Husky, we can see on his drone all the way downstairs. That's C4.
Ooh, close, but no
just
cigar.
slightly mistimed. They're in piano, not cigar.
No, I mean.
Yeah.
It's a phrase, Dino. It's a phrase.
I know. So we're gonna see that thermite charge get resolved successfully onto the freezer wall with quite a lot of time to spare, because once again there is no denial. Coming out from Enclave, Access has found his way into the bathroom, and that's a great shot by Rizuko. Able to take down Kingslayer, but is immediately traded out by Nico. I wasn't too sure of the angle. Nade's gone, but that's not been the big thing that has been winning Budapest these rounds. But Rizuko going down is going to affect them massively. Access gets one, but Nico gets one in return. He's still trying to play this freezer location with his life. He doesn't have a C4, as we saw it get used up earlier. Thor gets one, or Thor gets taken down downstairs after he gets one. Nico now left up in a 1 versus 1. He may not know that Thor is downed, but Manicrip is going to rotate around to try and pick him up. Goomine's going to delay Nico, going for the plant upstairs inside of the site. He's probably getting information that he is free to go for the plant now. And I don't think he's being spotted out. His plant location is being spotted out. So the Nomad charge is going to delay the rotation coming on up. Thor too slow, shooting through the floor. Manicrip is successfully at the top of the red stairs, trying to aggress onto the site. And Thor is successfully at the top of the white stairs. They're going to want to try and create a crossfire onto this angle. Nico gets spotted out. It's downed. Finally, Manicrip gets the down. Thor finishes him off. And that's going to be the map going in favor of the Enclave. What a roller coaster of a map from start to finish, but an excellent hold right at the end there.
Yeah, I think again, like Budapest 5 are a very, very good team. You know, there were some questionable choices then even at the end, like you say with the Maverick. Maybe if they swapped that for something else, things would have played out differently, because they didn't need the hard breach denial. Oh, no, sorry, not the hard breach denial. They didn't need to counteract the hard breach denial. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of would've, could've, should've's on Budapest 5's comms right now. But realistically, both teams played amazingly well, and I don't think either of them really have anything to be bummed out about.
No, definitely just great game all around by everyone involved. Unfortunately, there were some connection issues that might have impacted a couple of those rounds, but, you know, down to the wire game on Clubhouse, winding up in a draw, and then once again a down to the wire game on Cafe, but going to be an Enclave able to sneak that one out, so that's going to give them 4 points at the end of the day, which will definitely help them out in the standings. Do you have anything else to say about this matchup?
Not really. It went how I thought it would. I did think the first map would be very close, and then obviously I figured